Welcome, everybody. I haven't done a YouTube in a little while. We had a lot of things happen over here last week. We had a 2-day seminar here in Palm Beach Gardens. It's our annual event, so we put a lot of effort and work there. People came from online, people came from traveling in person. So it was a great event. In the meantime, we have a lot of things to have reviewed, and many of you that are in our live trading room know that a couple things. We got this one trade going on here in C3AI. We did the 42 half. 42 half. In fact, today I even said if you didn't get in them from last week, you may want to try those spreads right now. The upside spreads out of C3AI. Why did we even say that? Big volume trend. Market looks pretty good. Couple other things that you guys would be like, no, he's not in yen. Yes, we are. Last week, we were actually recommended yen. In fact, the yen is a 3-time leveraged ETF on the China-related large cap stock sector. So this was our buy entry in the green, and our stop loss was the red. Market opened up here. I said this will be initial resistance, trail your stop at the orange. So that's what we got going on in the yen. Yes, that's not a mistake. 23% higher. A really nice trade. For those that didn't do yen, we did BABA. Yeah, no, you didn't. Yeah, I did. We did. And here's same story. We've got resistance. The first wall of resistance is exactly where it hit against the last conditional change. You guys, if you've read a book that I've written, you know about my last conditional change. It's also an indicator we've got, right? So whether it's on wealth charts, whether it's on Vantage Point, whether it's on Genesis, the last conditional change is a very important tool that we have, despite the fact that, it's probably underrated. But anyway, it's underrated because people forget to use it, I guess, is the better way of saying it. Anyway, I don't want to get into this long-winded accolade of what's going on in the world, but we had a huge gap up in Alibaba. And, maybe we're going to linger a little bit as long as we get a couple days greater close above the, again, monthly pivot point. That's at 90.37. And what you're looking at here is Thinkorswim. These are indicators that are my indicators on Thinkorswim. Person's pivots, a monthly outlook, the PPS indicator, buy and sell signals. We talked about this double bottom here. And I mean, it's a very classic double bottom pattern. More importantly, we had an increase in lower time volume action. And so, just last week, Alibaba coming down, filling the gaps. You probably heard me mention about this if you've been around a while. We bought it a long position in here. We bought it earlier last year. We were long in here. We got out. This is now, I think, the third time in the same year that we've been establishing a position trade. And many times on YouTube, I said, look, this stay with this trade. We've got higher lows. We don't have higher highs yet. And you'd go, oh, yeah, I remember him talking about that. Sure enough. And we dumped it when it went up here, when CNBC and Fox News and Bloomberg were saying, oh, China, they lowered interest rates and they had stimulus. It's going to be great. Everyone get long. So everyone got pumped into this trade, and then they dumped it on you, right? So while we took profits on a rising move, people were buying it. So there's an old adage: buy it when no one wants it, sell it when everyone's got to have it. And man, I can only demonstrate that so many times in my life. And that's what we did. All right, moving forward, I think Alibaba still got upside potential, not just now, but going into the next Q1. Trump tariffs, and man, if I hear that one more time, why doesn't anyone say Biden tariffs? Because Biden's actually added the tariffs. No one wants to talk about that. It's funny? Imagine this. Trump comes into office and everyone's like going to blame him for adding tariffs. He actually can pull the trigger and say, hey, we're going to remove the tariffs to help reduce inflation. Biden administration jacked up the tariff rate on incoming plywood and lumber from Canada. Go do your due diligence on that. He did that in August of 24. Nobody wants to talk about that one, right? So think about it. What would happen if Trump came in office and he goes, we're going to get this world going again, and we're going to, and I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying possibly it could happen. And boy, what would happen to the markets then? Everyone would be like, Red Rum, what did he do? We were talking about him raising tariffs. But now he duped everyone and tricked everybody. And now he's going to work with China. And guess what? If he lowers tariffs and gets a, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing, guess what? Man, that's going to boost a lot of different Chinese stocks for sure. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't put it past him. So again, just when you think and you read the news and you're being corralled as a trader to think one way, the market hits you and socks you in the back of the head from a different angle. So just keep that in mind. We're still a big fan of the Russell over here, except for we're not really exposed to Russell because we were looking for a pullback. The world's bullish on the Russell, and I'm thinking we're pulling in a little bit. So here's the Russell chart, gang. Bottom line, I think we're in a daily sell. We probably could pull into this monthly pivot zone, 234, 232. The advanced decline, look at this. You tell me what you think. If you don't know, then you need to read one of my courses. But bottom line, you have a market that makes newer highs with weakening breadth, and you're telling me that that it's a broadening rally. It might be broadening, but man, that one it looks like it's thinning out, and it's on GLP-1 drug because the exact volume on a new high didn't take off according to the OBV, and the advanced decline analysis didn't confirm a new high. So it's probably due for a pullback. And when it gets in a pullback zone and it's safe to get back in on some longer term call spreads, we'll do it again. We'll do it all over again, man. Bottom line. So we are having a little fun here. There's been a lot of trades that you probably have seen through the internet and other presentations that I gave, like Chipotle Mexican Grill. We took some profits on that. And eBay was another one. eBay actually, today's action generated a daily buy, so it might have some follow-through strength over the next day or so. I would watch for that. Longer-term monthly momentum, man, that looks like that's got some positive mojo rising right there. That's some pretty good stuff. Daily volume today on eBay was was from pretty decent volume. Besides that, the big winners today, percentage-wise, was all in the EV sector. It's not something I'm really into, but our trades and some of the stuff we're looking at did all right. Estee Lauder, anything related to China is doing better. So Estee Lauder, Estee Lauder was, cosmetic makeup. They have MAC or MAC. They've got Too Faced. They got some other brands out there. Nobody likes them. They blamed slower sales from China's economy. So then it would be, it would just stand to reason that if China's economy does better, then Estee Lauder is going to do better. But it needs a little bit more work before and develop a trend before the rest of the boys and girls on Wall Street believe the story that it's ready to get back up into at least the 120. So, but I do believe it's got time 6 to 8 weeks out and will be probably back up into the 100, 110 zone. So, relative weakness over the next week, 10 days. Look for pullbacks. Pullbacks to the right should bring acceleration. Moving forward, everything's kind of lining up a little bit better. When the weekly PMC indicator goes bright blue, you want to be on that trade. And when the momentum of the volume, which is just now starting, as I can bring into focus, just now turning positive on a weekly basis, that's a good indication that a longer term trend might be, or a bottom might be in place. So that's another good one there. As far as anything else, gang, Fastly, Cloud Storage is getting a boost. It's a small cap name. I mean, this was a stock that got just absolutely beat to Dickens with an ugly stick. $24 stock taken all the way down to $5, back to 11. Might have some, look for pullbacks along the way before you get all in on that one. But I think it's nice to say that one of the trades that we put out was C3PO, I jokingly call it. And now that if it opens tomorrow, Tuesday, if it opens and allows us to make money on the option trade, I will always give it more respect, and I will never call it C3PO. It's C3AI, Sam Altman. Sometimes earnings are good and market goes up in the extended hours, and then the next morning it just pukes on you. So again, we've got an option position here. We posted that in the room, and all I can tell you, if you're not taking the room, take a spin, take a free trial, take a trial, and visit us. We do a lot of research and a lot of work out there and post a lot of trades that we send via text to your mobile app. Real, actual, actionable trades with the express entry, the prices, the options, the strategies. The only thing that you got to do is come visit us and sign up. With that said, have a great afternoon. It's good to be back on YouTube. I'm sorry that I took a leave of absence. We'll be more consistent. These seminars, we put a lot of work into them, and that's what that drives our, needs our attention. But I hope you got at least seeing it. How are we, and that's the consistency I like to say, is how do we apply the indicators that I created to trade these market conditions? And hopefully you got a taste of that tonight. We'll look forward to the next YouTube video. Probably do another one later this week with some actionable trades for you guys. Thanks for listening.